Hi all, welcome to the video lecture series of Python for machine learning. In this video lecture, we'll be discussing about some of the functions in list. The first method to consider is CMP method. It is a short form for comparison or compare. This method is actually used for comparing two lists. And the syntax of the CMP method is like this. CMP, and we have to pass the two lists that we have to compare. So list 1 is the first list that we have to compare and list 2 is the second list that we have to compare. So if we want to compare two lists, whenever we have to compare two lists, we can make use of CMP method. Some other useful functions that we can find inside the list are, first of all, len of list. Here this method returns the number of elements inside the specified list. Specified list means the list that we pass as the parameter to this method. Then we have max of list. It is used to find out the maximum element inside the list that we pass as the parameter. Similarly, min of list to find out the minimum element inside the list. And if you want to convert a tuple into a list, we know the difference between a tuple and list. If you want to convert a tuple and list are entirely different. So if you have a tuple and if you want to convert that into a list, we can make use of list of sequence. So here seq is the tuple name that we are giving as the parameter, and this method will convert this seq into a list. Some more methods of list. If you want to add an object or an element into existing list, we can make use of append method. The syntax of calling this method is list name, the list to which we have to add, dot append, and the element that we have to add. When we call this append method, the new element that we are passing as the parameter will be added to the end of the current list. That is what we mean by appending. Then list dot count of object. This method is used for counting the number of occurrence of this object obj. Suppose we have a list, and if you want to find out the frequency or number of times a particular element occurs inside that list, we can make use of this method named count. Then to extend means what? To expand. Okay, if we have a list, say L1, if you want to expand that list by inserting some elements from another list or another sequence, we can make use of this method. So list is the list that we have to expand, then dot extend, and this parameter is the list or the new sequence that we have to combine with the existing list. So here also it is appending. That means the new sequence will be added to the end of the current list. Then if you want to find out the index number or index location of a particular element, we can make use of this index method. So here list.index of obj returns the index number at which this object occurs inside this list. Then if you want to insert a new element or object at a particular index inside a list, we have to use the method insert. Suppose we have a list named L1. Suppose it consists of 5 elements, and if I want to insert a new element at index number 3, then I have to use this method. So list name is L1, so L1 dot insert the element to the index number to which we have to insert. So it is 3 in our example, 3 comma and the element that we have to insert. Similarly, if we want to delete an element from a list, we have to use the method pop. So it always removes the last object from the list. Okay, that means it always removes. Suppose we have a list named L1 consisting of 5 elements. This pop method always removes the last element, that is the 5th element, from the list. Here there is no need to mention the element that we had to remove. The pop function or method always removes the last element. There is no need to specify the element to be removed. If you want to remove a specific element, we can use the method named remove, in which we have to pass the element to be removed as the parameter. So that's the difference between pop and remove. In pop, there is no need to specify the element to be removed. But in case of remove, we can specify the element to be removed. So only that element will be removed from the list. Then if we have a list and if we have to reverse it, we can use the method reverse. And we want to sort the list, we can use list.sort. And we can specify the function by which you have to sort, whether it's increment or decrement, or if you have to specify any particular function based on which we have to sort the list. We can also mention it as the parameter here. Apart from those methods, we have a method named index method. This method is used for returning the index of the specified element in the list. And this method can take a maximum of 3 parameters. Out of these 3 parameters, 2 parameters are optional. As you can see, we have to use the list on which we have to perform this operation. So list name dot index, and it can take maximum of 3 parameters, out of which the second and third parameter are actually optional. We have to mention the element whose index we need. So that is the first parameter, and if you want to know the index location of this element starting from a particular index, that is, if you want to specify the range in between which we have to find out the index number of the element, we can use the second and the third parameter. Suppose I have a list consisting of 10 elements. I have to find out the index location of an element between the third and the seventh element. Then I can mention that as its second and third parameter. Index number 3 will be the second parameter, index number 7 will be the third parameter. That is the meaning of these 2 parameters, but these 2 parameters are actually optional. It's not compulsory. If we are not mentioning these 2 parameters, then the search starts from the beginning of the list, and the index method returns the index of the given element, that is index of the element we are searching for. Suppose the element that I am going to search is at index number 3, then the return value of this method will be 3. If the element is not there inside the list, then we will be getting a value error exception as the output. And also, if the element we are going to search occurs multiple times within the list, then the index method always returns the first occurrence of the element. Suppose the element we are going to search is occurring at index number 2 as well as index number 5. When we use this method index, we will get the output as 2. That is the first occurrence of the element we are going to search. These are the 2 examples that indicates how the index method work. In this example, we have a list named vowels, and we are trying to find out the index at which the element is located. So a list name dot index method and the element we are going to search. In this example, we have used only one parameter. We have not used the second and third parameter of this method index. So as you can see, E is located index number 1. So the output will be getting as 1. And we can see that the letter I is occurring twice. And if we try to find out the index of letter I, like this, vowels dot index of I, we will be getting the first occurrence of I. First occurrence of I is at index number 2. So the output of that this line of code will be 2. In this example, we have made use of all the 3 possible versions of index method. In the first line, we have used only one parameter. So in this, the searching will start from the first element inside the list and will be moving towards the end of the list. But since E is occurring at index number 1, the index method will stop there and return the value 1, and it will be stored inside the index variable. So we are getting the output as 1. In the second way, in second method or second way of using the index method, we have specified the start index from which we have to start searching. So it will be start searching from the 4th index. So here the 4th index means 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we are starting the search for the character I from 4th index. So we will not consider all the elements before this 4th index. because we have specified the starting from which we have to start the searching. So it will be start searching from this index and then find out the index number at which the element I is located. So as you can see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The index number of this I is 6. So after 4th index, I is occurring at 6th index. So I will be getting the output as 6. Then we are going to search, we are going to use a second and third parameter now. That is from where we have to start search till which index we have to search. So in the searching will takes place from index number 3 till index number 5. Index number 3 means 0, 1, 2 and 3. O is the third index. And fifth index means O of 3, 4 and 5. So in between O and L, in this example we are going to search for I. But I does not appear there. So we will get the value error as the output. We know that there exists a method named sort that can be used for sorting the elements inside the list. Sorting means arranging the elements. We can arrange the elements in either ascending order or descending order. The basis syntax of the sort method is like this: list.sort key equal to and reverse equal to, even though both of them are optional. Okay, does not require, and this method does not require actually any extra parameters, but if we want to perform the sorting in a particular order, then we can make use of these two parameters. If you are using the reverse parameter, if you are mentioning reverse equal to true, then the sorting will take place in descending order, in the reverse order. And if you are mentioning any, if you are using the first parameter key, and if you are mentioning any function, then the sorting will take place according to that function. So that is the meaning of these two parameters. These two parameters are actually optional. It's not compulsory that we have to use these two parameters when we use the sort method. It's not like that. We can simply use the sort method also without any parameters. Even then sorting will take place, but in general or by default the sorting will take place in ascending order. If we want to perform sorting in descending order, we have to mention reverse equal to true. We will see an example, then it will be more clear to you. In this example we have a list named vowels, and as you can see the elements in this list are not sorted. It's E, A, U, O, I, so it's not a sorted list. We can sort this list by using the sort method. As you can see here, we have not mentioned any parameter here, just called the sort method. And then if we try to print the vowels now, so sort method is not returning any new list, it is actually modifying the existing list itself. So vowels.sort means this method will modify this existing list. So after this line of code, if we try to print the vowels list, the output will be like this. That means the elements get sorted. What if we want to sort the list in the reverse order? In that case we have to call the method like this: list.sort reverse equal to true. In that case the list will be sorted in the reverse order. That means it will be the output of, if the method was called like this, then the output would have been UOIEA. Similarly, if you want to sort the list by using any custom function, you have to use the parameter key. The sort method can take maximum of two parameters. One is key and one is reverse. They are optional actually, and we saw how to use the reverse parameter in the previous example. Now how to use this key parameter. Key parameter is used to sort the list by means of a function. If you want to specify a function according to which we have to sort the list, we can mention that by using key operator or key function or key parameter. For example, suppose we are sorting a list by mentioning key equal to len. Here len is actually Python's built-in function that is used to count the length of an element. So len is used for finding out the length of an element. So if you have mentioned key equal to len, that means we are asking to sort this list based on the length of each element. So in that case the list will be sorted based on the length of each element inside that list. So from lowest count to highest. Suppose we have a list of words consisting of each word may be of different length. If you want to sort that list based on the number of characters in each word, then we can make use of this function key equal to len. In that case, we'll be getting a list sorted based on the number of characters in each word. The smallest word towards the largest word. That is how we'll be getting the output if we are mentioning the function as key equal to len. If we are using another function, if we have our own function, we can write our own function and we can mention that function name here, key equal to that function name. Then based on that function, the list will get sorted. So if you are mentioning the key parameter, the list will be sorted based on the results of the key function. That is the usage of this parameter. We shall conclude now. So in this video lecture, we discussed about some of the functions and methods in list in Python. We found out how to sort a list and how to search for an element inside a list, and some of the examples also. That is all in this video lecture. Thank you so much.